Hi everyone, this is Walking Problem. Today's date is the 12th of October. It's 5:34 a.m. here in Singapore. And this article came out like 2 days ago, 3 days, 4 days ago. Rocked the internet of Singapore and gotten a lot of debates. So there's a study by the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. They say that 2,906 is a reasonable starting point for a living wage in Singapore. So it's reasonable and it's a starting point. 2,900 is a starting point for a living wage. So I read a study by Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy finds that 2,906 is a reasonable starting point for a living wage in Singapore. Parents are likely to face greater financial strain as children grow up. Current public housing policies effectively double the housing cost for single parents who have never married compared to other parents. So they say that these figures came out from an average budget for a couple with 2 children, and assuming that both parents are fully employed, and this adjusted for tax and all universal and major mean tested benefits. So the school in the media release wrote, the median work income among all workers in 2020 exceeded this amount by 50%, but the current progressive wage model wages fall significantly below. Do you know what's wrong with this statement? So they say that the median, so you have the bell curve. So in the median is exceeded this amount by 50%. So they are talking about $3,000, right? Yeah, $3,000. So they say that the median is actually $5,000, and then they say that we need to push this gap. Okay, from your point of view is $3,000 here, $5,000 is the medium, and then they say they need to push this bottom gap up. Wouldn't this just push the medium wage even further, like into the higher amount? So that don't make a lot of sense. Then they say they found that the cost of education and care dominated the budgets for children's needs. So they say while costs associated with children decline with age, other increase sharply. Other current measures supporting education and care taper off for older children, and parents are likely to face greater financial strain. And this comes to be another problem because you assume that the only way to live is to both parents go to work. And what happens when both parents work? No one take care of their children. So when no one take care of the children, then of course you need student care, you need child care, and you know how much is the child care per month? How much is student care per month? Effectively, the second parents that go to work easily depend on how much they earn. It could be they will be spending at least $2,000 at least for all this care. So at least you will be paying at least $1,000, and we're not even talking about vehicles. So this is a living wage. They're talking about this, not like survival wage is living. That means it's talking about life, having a life. So they say that single parent effectively doubled housing costs. Okay. I mean, if you're a single parent, of course your life is going to be so much harder because one person taking care of the children, and then you still need to, because if there's no one to help you take care, then you have to pay for the student care or child care. It's going to be a hard life, definitely. So they say build a general definition of basic needs determined in their 2019 studies. which investigated budgets necessary for older people living alone or with a partner, and then they generate the list of items, services related to several fields, including housing, utility, food, transport, social participation, and then the needs of children according to gender and age group, and then included items and services if participants agreed that it was a basic need, and I could explain why. Okay, so a single parent with one child and between 2 and 6 need $3,000 per month to meet their basic needs. Yeah, possible. If you have a house to fund, to pay for, I think reasonable. Partner parents, 2 children, needed 6,400. 7, 12. If you divide by 2, if both of them divorce, each take 1 children, it will be 3,002 as well. 6,004 divided by 2 is 3,002. Okay, and then a single elderly will need 1,400 per month. Okay, so children is more expensive somehow, and education is almost free in Singapore. So 2 working age household work out about 1,600, the budget per household member, and that's so then the average work income per household member for the third decile group of employed household in Singapore in 2020 is 1,006. They indicate that 30% of the working household earn less than required for the 2 types of household to meet their basic needs, which is impossible, right? They're still alive, right? So you don't call it basic needs. I don't think that's the right word to use. Anyway, they provide a concrete benchmark and discuss how people could achieve the income, blah blah blah. And of course, the Ministry of Finance fought back because they say that this may not be the accurate reflection of basic needs, and then they warn that anyone reading the report bear in mind the limitation of the approach used, and the conclusion may not be an accurate reflection of basic needs, largely due to the assumption used, which I totally agree, because it could be very essential for me to go to a childcare that's $3,000 a month. It might be a basic need for me to drive a Mercedes Benz. Yeah, and it might be totally essential for me and my wife to both be working. Or I don't need my wife to work. Then what happens? Then don't me have to earn double the income or lesser? So that's why they say the study did not take into account alternatives such as MOE, student care centers, and various self-help groups that provides enrichment class for those that need at no cost, which is correct. And then somehow there's a discretionary spending as like private enrichment classes, jewelry, perfume, overseas holidays. And if you add overseas holidays, that's not a need. That's not a need. That's a luxury. That's a luxury. So, and the researcher considered mortgage payments for flats as expenditure items, but downplayed the fact that non-interest components of such payment is more akin to savings that help household build up valuable housing equity, which is true too, because if you have both parents working and then you buy a HDB, essentially your entire HDB is actually paid for by CPF. You're not spending that money. The money is not yours, technically speaking. To me, CPF is just a form of universal income tax, which they will give you back in welfare, that comes in the form of buying HDBs, paying for your student loans, or your medical, in MediSave. So I don't, or even when old age, when you can withdraw the money out, right? Then in other countries, those are called welfare. But though the welfare in other countries don't seem to have a limit. They, as long as you're alive, they have to pay you. But in Singapore, is packed to the amount of tax that you pay, which is a clever system. So highlighting the finding that each household member in the working age household should have about 1,600 per month, and this number is in fact closer to what the average household spends. And it's true. How much do you need to stay alive? One person, I give you $15. That's a lot of money. $15 to can I get my mouse? No, not my mouse. Can I calculate it? With $15 a day, I think you can eat really well with $15 a day. For food, times 30, that's $450. Your phone bill, $200 plus your internet, $650. What else do you need? This is food and your phone bill. Anything else is additional. So when you have 1,600, you have another $1,000. That's when you use it for buying things that you might need, savings, and the additional luxury like going out, going to restaurant, going to cinema, anything that you earn anything above 1,600, you are going to save that money, to be honest, unless you have a very luxurious lifestyle, and which still added. This means that it is in excess of basic needs for an average household. So the amount reflected in the reports are what medium earner receives, not low income families. And I totally agree with this conclusion that this report, is really, trying to is actually ignoring a lot of the realities in Singapore. I personally, I'm not even at the medium income. I don't really earn that much. I earn enough, but I'm bringing up a family. I don't earn the medium income of $5,000 a month. I don't think I earn that much. So I think, and I am from spending, my wife don't work. She's a housewife. I'm the sole breadwinner. My mother do work. She want to pay, save money for her own food or shopping, or to go overseas in the future. She want to pay with her own money. So taking care of my family is not that expensive. You have someone at home, cooking and taking care of the kids. You don't really need that much money. It get really expensive, and I totally agree when both parents work, because someone have to take care of the children. And if you have someone like the grandmother, grandfather that's around to help take care of the children, then you're really gonna save a lot of money. But if you're gonna throw it to the child care or student care, that's like a lot of money will be gone that way, and that's not including some families, they have 2 cars. The mother will have 1 car, the father will have 1 car. So take this with a pinch of salt. I think this is more useful not for policy, but it's more useful for personal planning. That this, you should try to earn at least $3,000 a month, and that's probably it per person. That should be your aim, to earn at least $3,000 a month, and try to work towards the medium, which is $5,000 a month. And you have to remember that that's the medium. So if you earn that, 50% of the people is earning lesser than you. So there's a terrible way to gauge how much is enough or how much you should earn. And there are another 50% they're earning like ridiculously a lot more money. And if you ask them, they also say that they don't have a lot of money, because their expenditure will be so much higher as well. So So this is the interesting article that came out lately. I just want to cover this, and I hope you like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Give a like to the video if you like what I'm doing, and I hope to see you soon.